Hi Louis Vuitton, how did you guys come up with this unique design for your bags? This design was actually created in 1886 and it took years for us to come up with this. Nope, that's a lie. You guys stole this design from Africa. This design was stolen from a head design and garments in West Africa. And this design was stolen from the Kuda tribe, which are from the Kingdom of Congo in 1886. I was absolutely horrified when I found out that this was the case. I don't know about you guys, but I think they should be giving them some of the profits or at least giving them credit for taking their unique design.
What's the price for this bag?
This one?
No.
Roughly about, I think 29.
829.
2,900.
2,900.
I'm sorry?
Is that true in China they're making those more cheaper?
I have no idea. We have our bags are produced by our own company. We have workshops all around the world.
Cool.
Not
Okay.
local.
Yeah. Curious.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Right after those lawsuits started popping off, Reuters came through swinging with some straight-up jaw-dropping reveals. Y'all, no exaggeration, this might want to make you throw your designer bag out the window or in the trash, or at least in the back of the closet for now. But turns out that LVMH, you know, the group behind Louis Vuitton, Dior, Fendi, and a bunch others, has been blatantly exploiting Chinese workers, not just in China, but also in these secret little workshops hidden inside Italy. But wait for it, because the numbers are absolutely insane. A $2,780 Dior bag was exposed as being made for just, get ready, $57. Meanwhile, they got people out here breaking their necks to buy it for almost $3 grand. But according to inside sources, these luxury bags weren't just made in shady conditions. They were made by workers who didn't even have legal papers to work in Italy. These workers were literally living inside the factory, sleeping right next to the machines they spent 15 to 16, even 18 hours working on. No real breaks, no real homes, no basic rights, just grinding day and night so these brands could keep selling their luxury fantasy to the rest of the world. And the nerve, LVMH still out here posting up at a fashion show, sipping champagne and acting like they're the pinnacle of style and success, when behind the scenes, they're running the biggest. See somebody flexing their Dior saddlebag on the gram, just know it might have cost them $2,780, but Dior barely spent enough to cover a dinner date. And if you thought the $57 Dior bag scandal was bad, it only gets worse from here. So you know that $1,500 Louis Vuitton Neverfull bag that's literally everywhere on TikTok and Instagram? Yes, y'all, the one that everybody's been fighting to get? Well, guess how much it actually cost them to make? $50.
Okay, let's go.
And y'all, this isn't just some rumor floating around. Insiders and investigators have been screaming about this markup for years. They exposed that Louis Vuitton's markup is over 1,000%, meaning that they can make a bag for every little pocket change and flip it for luxury prices like it's handcrafted from unicorn tears or fairy dust.
Yo, chat, Louis Vuitton is being kind of sus right now. I don't know about you, but after getting called out online, the brand is refusing to prove that their bags are actually made in Italy. It all started when TikToks went viral showing Chinese manufacturers claiming that most luxury bags, including ones from Louis Vuitton, are made in China, not Italy or France like the tags suggest. Some even claimed over 80% of designer bags come from the same factories in China just without the label. As these videos gained traction, fans began demanding answers like they should. But instead of clearing things up, a source close to Louis Vuitton came out and said that the brand has no plans to provide proof where the products are actually made. No transparency, no explanation, just a blunt message that they don't owe anything to the public. That statement alone sent shockwaves through the fashion community, with customers spending thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. You'd think they'd offer at least some form of clarity, right? But no, Louis Vuitton is choosing silence, and now many customers are feeling scammed by the label. So here's a real question. Should Louis Vuitton be banned from labeling products made in Italy unless they show proof? Drop your thoughts in the comments down below. Peace.
Louis Vuitton cancelled this bag because they wanted to make more money.
What? How does that even make sense?
So this is the Speedy 30. It was originally released in 1930 and was named after its 30cm width.
Creative name.
It was made as the perfect travel bag and loved by celebrities like Audrey Hepburn. It had a simple design, a somewhat dome shape, and two top handles. In 2011, Louis Vuitton released the Speedy Bandoulière, which literally means with a strap in French.
Again, Creative name.
However, over the years, they very quietly stopped selling the Speedy 30.
Sneaky.
Which last retailed for around £1,060. And now they only sell the Bandoulière for around £1,470. So would you spend an extra £400 for a strap?
I mean, it's what you're going to use it for, really. Personally, no. I would just want the bag with no strap. It also means that because they're not on the Louis Vuitton website, they're getting rarer and rarer, which increases their resale value too.
Get ready, folks, because what we're about to dive into is one of the biggest luxury brand scandals to ever rock the fashion world. Buckle up, because the glittering empire of Louis Vuitton and other iconic fashion labels is crumbling before our very eyes. And it's all thanks to a group of fearless Chinese workers and a Chinese TikTok revolution. Yes, you heard that right. TikTokers are pulling back the curtain on the dirty little secrets behind the luxury items we all thought were untouchable. And guess what? The Louis Vuitton CEO has just resigned, leaving the world gasping in disbelief. Let's break down how we got here. It all started with a whisper. The luxury market, once booming with buyers eager to flex their status, has been on a slow but inevitable decline. A massive shift is underway. Luxury isn't what it used to be. Over the past 2 years, around 50 million people, yes, 50 million, dropped out of the luxury game, realizing they were simply buying into an illusion. They got tired of paying thousands of dollars for bags made from, well, let's just say, not so luxurious materials, all while working-class people across the globe are left toiling away in terrible conditions to produce them. Now, enter the star of the show, Chinese manufacturers. You might be wondering, what does China have to do with my overpriced Louis Vuitton bag? Well, everything. Turns out, most of your beloved designer goods, from Louis Vuitton to Dior, are not just made in China, they're mass-produced there. What's worse, the fashion houses aren't telling you this. They've built their entire brand around a fantasy of European craftsmanship. Imagine the images of Italian grandfathers working with love in sun-drenched workshops, but the reality? Not so romantic. Italian courts have already taken action against these brands, filing lawsuits against the likes of Dior, LVMH, Louis Vuitton's parent company, and Armani for deceptive practices. These companies have been lying to you, selling you products labeled Made in Italy, when in fact, most of the work is being done in Chinese factories. Here's where it gets even juicier. The workers in these factories are being paid pennies, working insane hours under dangerous conditions just to meet the impossible demands of luxury brands. For example, a $6,000 Dior bag? It costs Dior less than 60 euros to make. Think about that next time you see someone walking around with one. It doesn't stop there. In fact, it gets even uglier. Investigations are.
She's got a point. She's an icon. She's a legend. And she is the moment.
Factory supplies for Louis Vuitton.
Okay, let me tell you a secret. Louis Vuitton have many Chinese factories, but they just don't amend it. 50% of every bag are from these two cities, Guangdong City and Dongguan City. 90% of every skill is from Mansili in Hangzhou City. I have a friend who is the manager in factory. They told me that the similar quality only costs $50. Is it crazy, right? Follow Ivy, help you to find the best supplier in China.
The bags come from China, but the leather comes from Nigeria. The bags are manufactured in China, but the leather, the exotic skins, the snake skin, the alligator, it comes from Kano, Nigeria. Come on in, let's talk about it, yes. Because I love that the Chinese manufacturers are coming on here and asserting that they are producing these luxury bags and luxury goods, but also Black people have a hand in that manufacturing by way of tanneries in Kano, Nigeria. So a tannery is an institution, a business in which you are converting animal products like skins, leather, suede, alligator skins, snake skins, all kinds of exotic skins into textiles so that they can be used for goods, clothing, bags. And Kano, Nigeria is world headquarters for this practice. And they have long since been headquarters for hundreds of years. So I interviewed during the pandemic a man named Winston, and he leads a business out of Kano, Nigeria called Winston Leathers. And they are actually a third generation tannery. So he confirmed that his tannery produces leather goods and exotic skins for brands like LVMH, so Louis Vuitton's portfolio of brands, Ralph Lauren, many other luxury brands. And I interviewed him on Twitter. I'll link to that thread so you can go back and read it. But yeah, he shared that this practice of providing exotic skins to the world, but specifically to China, goes back to the Silk Road, when traders in Mali were providing leather goods up through Morocco and on into Asia. Moroccan leather is known for its quality, and Winston actually shared that Moroccan leather can be traced back to Kano, Nigeria, and it's actually Kano leather. So I love all the conversation that Chinese manufacturers have started around like amplifying that those goods are produced and manufactured in China. I want to go a layer deeper and talk about how Black people are actually contributing to the manufacturing as well, because the leather goods and the exotic skins that make up those bags that they're putting together in China actually started on the continent of Africa, in Nigeria. Okay, let's talk about it. If we're gonna talk about it, let's talk about all of it. And sorry, I'm getting ready. I'm gonna put my brush down to talk about some bags that I love by Black designers. So this beauty is Antelope. This is by a brand called Brother Valet. A Black woman named Aurora James leads that brand. I still wear fur, don't kill me. I read a great New York Times article about how basically fur was phased out when Black women were able to access it in greater numbers. So basically, because Black women could access something that white people felt was exclusive to them, that's when they decided, oh no, vegan leather. And I am not a proponent of, you know, inhumane treatment of animals, but I do love fur, and it is a part of Black womanhood, Black girlhood, rites of passage. We hand down fur coats. So I love a fur. Brother Valet has great bags, and they also benefit women in Africa who construct these bags. I want to talk about Hanifa. I can't get enough of Hanifa. I love Hanifa Muvemba as a person. And she is also a Black designer from the continent of Africa. She is from Congo, and she produces bags. This is a great bag. It comes in a larger size. It also comes in black, I believe, and maybe red. And yes, I love this bag. She sent this bag to me. Thank you so much, sister. Love this down and wear it, okay? And we gotta talk about Luar. So Luar is headed by Raul Lopez. He is a person of color. And he's actually previously one half of Hood by Air. So if you're familiar with Hood by Air, they pioneered streetwear. He was one half of the duo who founded it and led it. So icon already. He circled back, okay, and hit us with another brand called Luar. This is the ostrich texture. This is 100% genuine leather. It's ostrich textured. I also have a smooth version of this bag in brown. And then I also want to shout out another Black handbag designer named Wilglery. She has the brand Anima Iris. I had the pleasure of working with Wilglery when I was at Amazon. So I was brought to Amazon. Many of you know I work in luxury fashion. Hi, I'm Shelby. I'm a costume and fashion historian, a Forbes 30 Under 30 honoree, a Vogue Business 100 Innovator honoree, and a 10+ year veteran of the luxury fashion industry. And during my career journey, Amazon brought me over to stand up their luxury division. And so I onboarded luxury brands with an emphasis on Black luxury brands, okay, and I got to onboard Anima Iris, and Wilglery and her team were amazing. Love her bags down, own more than a couple. They're not within my reach right now, but wanted to shout her out because her bags are still produced on the continent of Africa as well. So support her bags. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about that, girlies, because it has to go without saying. Black people are in the mix with a lot of things, okay? And this is one of them. So just as China is making sure to assert their contribution and their attribution to the luxury handbag industry, I want to make sure that we assert and attribute Black people's contribution, which is specifically in Kano, Nigeria, via these tanneries. So yeah.
Breaking news. Louis Vuitton's Texas factory A luxury disaster in the making? Boom! What happens when the world's top luxury brand tries to cut corners? Louis Vuitton's Texas factory is failing big time, and it's costing them big. Stay till the end. This is a total game changer. Here's the scoop. 6 years after a glitzy opening with Trump cutting the ribbon, Louis Vuitton's Texas plant is ranked as one of the worst performing globally. Why? Wasted leather, hidden defects, and subpar workers, and no one's talking about it until now. This factory is failing to meet the brand's luxurious standards, and guess what? 40% of leather gets wasted. That's right, every other hide is trashed because of errors during production, and to make things worse, workers are pressured to hide defects and even melt material to cover up mistakes. Is this a huge mistake for Louis Vuitton or just a minor glitch in the system, fair or foul? Comment below. If this blows your mind, share it now. Drop a if you think this factory disaster could tarnish LV's name.
Rihanna has spoken out and demanded that Louis Vuitton post a video of their manufacturing process.
If it is really a thing, the government can easily check by import records, even if they're using a fictitious company to import.
Many celebrities have reacted to Louis Vuitton taking action against all of the videos being posted about the brand. First up, Kim Kardashian said what needed to be done. Next, Hailey Bieber said they can easily clear this up quickly by posting some videos. Next, Tom Hanks said, why does anyone care about these kind of clothes in 2025? It's what's on the inside that counts. Next, Jennifer Lopez said, I just don't believe these videos that people are posting about these brands, I'm sorry. And finally, Naomi Campbell said, the disrespect to these iconic brands is unforgivable. A bunch of viral videos are showing manufacturers in China claiming that many iconic French and Italian brands are sourcing their products from them. One TikTok video that's hit almost 10 million views shows a woman standing in front of big machines holding Lululemon-type clothing that she says are made in the same place as Lululemon's. She taps on the fabric and tells viewers they cost $5 to $6, way less than the $100 people usually pay in stores. In another video, a man shows bags that look just like Louis Vuitton for around $50. He says they're from the same place the actual ones are made. Even with those statements though, tons of viewers are still watching and buying. And now, a source has spoken out and revealed that LV will be taking action against people from China on TikTok, claiming they made their products. In a statement, a source spoke up and said, LVMH are very angered by all of these claims, which they say are completely untrue. They will be taking action against users online who are claiming their products are made cheaply without any proof. I doubt this will really stop anybody from talking about it. With how many angry consumers there are, I think they'll need to do more to restore trust from their buyers now. Whether the items are the real deal or not, one thing's for sure. Social media is becoming a major player in the global shopping game, and these users are making the most of it while they still can. As of right now, videos are still flooding social media with manufacturers wanting to share their side of the story and wanting to tell everyone that, in their opinion, these luxury brands are fooling their customers. For this video's comment question, do you think LVMH is telling the truth? Before you go, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for daily news updates on your favorite celebs. Thanks a lot for watching. It seems like Louis Vuitton will not be providing proof of how their products have been made after so many people have spoken out. Luxury fashion fans are freaking out after TikToks revealed how some high-end brands might not be as honest as they seem. Things really heated up online when Chinese manufacturers started posting videos on TikTok, claiming that tons of luxury brands actually use Chinese manufacturers to make their stuff, even though the labels say they're made in places like France or Italy. One of the wildest claims was that over 80% of luxury bags are made in China, even ones that say they're from France. A bunch of TikToks showing nearly identical bags to designer ones started going viral. Some people said these were made in the same factories, just without the label. And suddenly, a ton of people started questioning if they were paying thousands just for a name. Cora Harrington, a fashion historian, posted that most people can't even tell the difference between an actual designer item and a not real one, which makes it easy for not real ones to trick people. She mentioned Hermes bags specifically, saying they're a big example of this. In the midst of all of this, Hermes later released a full statement shutting everything down, saying their bags are only made in France and that any claims saying otherwise were totally false. Newsweek backed them up, saying that Hermes still uses their workshops in France. Meanwhile, Bloomberg said other brands like Nike and Lululemon were also getting called out by these same TikTok creators, who are now offering people the option to buy similar items for way less. And now, a source close to Louis Vuitton has spoken out and revealed that the brand does not plan on providing any proof to the public regarding everything. In their statement, the source said, Louis Vuitton has no plans to provide any insight into their manufacturing process. Louis Vuitton have seemingly reacted to all of the videos going viral over social media of manufacturers in China saying they make all of their stuff. A factory video from China has gone viral, and now people are seriously doubting the truth behind expensive fashion brands. One factory worker revealed that some of the biggest names in fashion, including Louis Vuitton and Zara, secretly get a lot of their stuff made in cities like Dongguan and Guangdong. Even though these brands brag about being made in Europe, the video claims that more than half of Louis Vuitton's bags are actually made in China. People online were blown away when they heard that most of the silk used by Louis Vuitton comes from a factory in Hangzhou called Huaxili. It didn't stop there either. The worker said a manager told him it costs around $15 to make something that looks exactly like one of their luxury items. The biggest reason this is upsetting fans is that these brands charge thousands for each product, saying it's all premium, handmade stuff. Now, many are starting to feel like they've been misled and taken advantage of, especially when the final product may not be much different from cheaper versions. And now, a statement has been released to the press, seemingly from a source close to Louis Vuitton. In their statement, the source close to the brand said, Louis Vuitton want everyone to know that what these people are saying is completely false and untrue, and they want everyone to understand that every item LV releases is made under meticulously high standards. At least it's been addressed, so it might not be true. However, we're going to have to wait to see if there's any real evidence for them making their clothes in China. Despite their statement, what's really getting attention is the idea that this might only be the beginning. People are already talking about how other workers from different factories might come forward soon. If that happens, it could completely shift the way the world looks at luxury brands and how they really operate behind the scenes. But not everyone's mad about it. Some people said they don't really care where it's made because what they're really paying for is the brand name and the status that comes with it. So even with the truth out there, not everyone plans to stop buying. For this video's comment question, do you believe Louis Vuitton? Before you go, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for daily news updates on your favorite celebs. Thanks a lot for watching.
Which Chinese factory supplies Louis Vuitton? Let me tell you the secret. Louis Vuitton have many Chinese suppliers, but they don't admit it. 50% of Louis Vuitton bags are made in these two places, Guangzhou City and Dongguan cities. And 90% of Louis Vuitton silk is Wang Shili from Hangzhou. I have a friend who is a manager in the factories of Louis Vuitton, and he told me the similar quality can be made for just $50. That's so crazy, right? Follow Ethan, help you find the best supplies in China.